Drift decides that if the western airlock really only has one fan as opposed to the 5 in the eastern airlock, it might be an easier target. She tells Rose and Phalanx to stay behind, no reason to risk anyone that doesn't need to go down there. Drift, Stone, Jack, and Angela rush into the hall. There's a door on the right covered in barbed tendrils that Jack hacks away at, then opens. This area seems to be a morgue, which suddenly raises a disturbing question about the fertilizer they use here. There are tags on the bodies. Holland A smells like it came from the Ranger Citadel compost pile. Wynnum J looks like he got lashed across the eyes. Ugh. Olson A smells like soup from a swamp. Woodrow J had some sort of skin infection, like a druid cast too many bark skins on him. Despite the bodies, this area seems clear of the toxic gas. There are some medical supplies in this room, including some antibiotics, antivenom, and medic packs. There's an electronically locked safe in the back of the room, and Drift yells to Phalanx to come help them. Isley P has a forest of herbs growing out of her skin. We're surprised no one has rolled her up and smoked her like a joint. Unfortunately, Phalanx finds this lock beyond his abilities, and Rose is called into the morgue. Apparently they put the first victims in here to keep them cool, then there were too many to deal with. At the end of the toxic hallway is a locked door, and Jack does his usual thing to it. Looks like a giant fly used its overgrown mandibles to chew through the side of this maintenance robot. The roof above has collapsed into the tunnel, and what looks like an entire forest's worth of plants invited themselves in. While they definitely block us from walking through, they appear loose enough to be cleared with some sort of explosive. Stone tosses a pipe bomb into the plants. A few small cracks bisect this old wall. With a little force, the wall should come down. Stone tosses a stick of TNT toward the wall, as it might lead to less toxic air. Inside, they spot a number of superflies and pod people and slip away before being noticed, but intercept another message.
This is Highpool calling anyone! Can anyone hear me? SOS! The wreckers have knocked down our tower! I don't know if we're even transmitting! Can anyone hear me? Anyone!
Highpool, this is Ranger Citadel. We read you. Do you copy? You are still transmitting.
Can anyone hear me? Highpool calling anyone! Please send help! Our walls are crumbling!
During the transmission, Stone flipped a switch that started up the fan, sucking the poisonous vapors out of the tunnel. He flips the switch again and the fan grinds to a halt. The entire team regroups at the broken wall. The flies and pods pose a threat to the center, and it's still our job to deal with threats. Besides, Phalanx wants to take a shot with his new gun. Pushing through the foliage, 2 pod people and 2 superflies. A superfly spews burning green bile on Jack, afflicting him. Angela's bullets rip into this superfly, terminating the flying horror. Jack hacks at the other superfly, butchering it. Angela screams as she hits a pod person, ending its horrific mockery of life. Rose takes initiative, blasting a pod person at point-blank range, dropping it like a stone. After patching everyone up, Drift looks around, but there's not much in here other than exploding pods. As they pass the maintenance robot again, Phalanx wants to see if he can fix it. He succeeds. However, the maintenance bot explodes with a resounding boom. The team goes back to the central area. There's one more toxic tunnel to go through. Once again, Drift, Stone, Jack, and Angela brave the poison gas. Enormous fans fill the wide duct from wall to wall. One near the back spins viciously fast. It makes us feel like the blade of grass staring down a lawnmower. There's a door on the right, and inside are 3 fan switches. A computer voice intones, "Warning, breach in main tunnel. Failsafe airlocks engaged. Close main tunnel hatch, disengage." As we approach the door at the end, a flashing red light informs us that this airlock is hard-locked. It might have something to do with the busted door in the main shaft. If someone can get that closed, the interior door should open automatically. Jack pulls the switch to shut off the 3rd fan so we can pass it. There's a door opposite the one we entered. We notice some maggots and flies in here though, so we elect to come back later. We briefly enter a small room between 2 hard-locked doors to catch our breath. The last fan in the tunnel is covered in tendrils which Angela shoots through. The door right behind it has 2 fan switches. Wiring running from each of the fan control switches terminates in this circuit breaker. If we need to shut down all the fans in this tunnel, we've come to the right place. There's another door in the tunnel, and as we near it, we intercept another transmission.
Hey, Rangers! Hey, Scorpions! You're too late! Highpool is ours now! Wrecking crew rules! Come and get us, motherfuckers! Okay, smash this thing! Let's go party!
Through the other door, pipes and boilers choke this room like overgrown plants, not to mention the overgrown plants. A pod plant explodes and the wet force of the explosion smothers Jack, spreading its contagion to him. Drift steps back into the circuit breaker room to heal some of the squad, and she has an idea. She tells Angela to wait in that room, and the rest go to the first fan switch room. When they're clear, Angela turns on the 2 fans, and Drift does the same to the other 3. As the final fan spins to life, we feel air start to push through the tunnel. The noxious fumes dissipate rapidly. The team regroups in front of the insect room. Once again, it's our duty to deal with these threats. 3 superflies and 2 mega maggots face us. A superfly afflicts Stone with its bile. Another superfly is struck by Stone's hot lead, snuffing out the flying parasite. Blood spurts as a mega maggot's larval bite hits Phalanx. The other maggot's powerful jaws poison Jack as well. Rose hits a mega maggot, dropping it like a sack of cake batter. Stone's buckshot hits a superfly. Hot lead flies out in an ejaculation of death. Angela's bullets rip into the last superfly, ridding the land of another filthy menace. Drift fires a bullet into the last mega maggot, terminating the undulating horror. This area looks like a library, except instead of books, there are stored seeds on the shelves. Interesting. Well, unless you were looking for a library, in which case this place sucks. After healing the team, Drift takes a look around. She finds a trauma kit in a chest, and as she goes to open another, a pot explodes, destroying the chest and its contents. She then looks through the cases. The sample here reads Piranha Plant 8-bit. This green herb appears delicate, like it might fall apart if we picked it wrong, but if we picked it right, it might be full of healthful vitamins and minerals. Against the back wall is another researcher bound up much like Winston. Rose once again uses her skills as a surgeon to free the researcher. Jack unlocks another chest and finds another trauma kit inside. Angela shoots a pod in the corner and the explosion destroys a nearby medical chest. This soupy mess of mold reads Shambling Mound. This red herb also appears delicate and healthy. With cautious fingers, Jack plucks the red herb and it remains intact. He does the same with the green herb, and Drift combines them to create mixed herbs. With both tunnels cleared, the team has nothing left to do here but go to the surface and find the irrigation system controls. Before we do that, Angela radios the base to give an update. Everyone except for her have earned field promotions. The members of Team Echo are now senior specialists.
Congratulations, Echo 1. You've done well.
Jack wants to learn about blunt weapons. That nail board is a bit stronger than his knife, and he wants to strengthen his skills as an outdoorsman. Phalanx puts more skill into energy weapons as he's enjoyed playing with this gun. Drift puts her skills into surgeon and sniper rifles as she's noticed herself using those more. Stone went with shotguns, heavy weapons, and demolitions for obvious reasons. Rose's skill goes into handguns as it's her only offensive skill. It's time to enter the East Field. Drift is growing wary of Rose. Her skills as a surgeon are remarkable, but she's consistently taking her own initiative in combat and putting the rest of the team at risk as a result. This could lead to issues in the future.